despite the fact that he comes in super late into the story, by this, we're talking about volume 7, so that is pretty late. Actually, no, correction, he appears at around the end of volume 6, but we don't get to see him in action until volume 7. Well, around the start of volume 7, we see him in action, and that is Gouto. Now, Gouto, what his character arc is kind of hard to pinpoint, because to me, he almost seems like a copycatted version of Kazuki Muto. The fact that he fights for other people, and how he has a very, gung-ho, not give up kind of attitude, the same that Kazuki Muto has. However, where these two differ is that I think Kazuki Muto would essentially fight for anybody, as long as it's in the realms of justice, or rather, what Kazuki Muto would perceive as what justice is. While Gouto fights only for Tokiko, because he has a massive crush on her. Now, would he have betrayed Hiwatari and the re-extermination squad if Hiwatari never mentioned that they were going to ice Tokiko? Personally, I don't think he would have. I think he would have been alright with Kazuki Muto being killed off, and that's that. But because of the fact that they were going to basically also kill Tokiko, that Gouto was like, nah, fuck this, I ain't siding with that, I'm gonna go against you guys. And so, now I'm not gonna call Gouto a deuteragonist, because to me there wasn't enough there in the story to warrant that we would receive his point of views a lot. Granted, we did get to see a good amount of his point of view and how he views the situation at hand within this volume. But majority of the time, we're seeing the point of view from both Kazuki and Tokiko's perspective. Yes, that POV does change depending on the situation, but the reason for those changes is essentially show us, the readers, the importance of character growth through conflict, which honestly is a shonen staple. Now, a while back, I made a mention of how if you're going to make an antagonist group, that they have to, in a way, go above the last group. For example, with Papillon's Monkey-Lie, we went from there to the LXC. The difference between the two is that with Papillon's Monkey-Lie, we got basically animals and plants. Just bare bone monsters. But with the LXC, we got humanoid homunculi, along with familiars, who are just humans waiting to become homunculi. And each single one of these people utilized the same kind of weapon that our protagonists were using, and that is the Kakugane. Now, the antagonists are set further from the LXC, and that is the re-extermination squad. What makes this so detrimental is that this re-extermination squad is from the Alchemist Army. Now, that's the same army that Captain Bravo's from, that Tokiko's from, that Gouto's from, and that Kazuki Muto at one point in time was a honorary member. Not official, but honorary in the eyes of Captain Bravo. Now, what makes them so exceptionally stronger than, say, the LXE would probably be not their military might, no, I would say it would have to be their training. And as we can see with the battles in this volume, where we see Kazuki and Gouto versus Inukai and Maruyama, is that these individuals are nowhere near like the Kakugane users of the LXC. You see, the Kakugane users of LXC were very blunt and straightforward with their tactics, kind of like how Kazuki was at the start of the story. Probably the only ones that had any sense of strategy would have been the Hayasaka twins, as well as Moonface. Oh, and Dr. Butterfly also. The rest of them, it was kind of like a, BusoRenkin, and then, boom, they would just attack. With no real plan in mind. And if there was a plan, the plan was basic 1D chess at best. Now they're facing off against people that have probably fought homunculi for years. Okay, we're talking about people that are highly efficient in their kakuganes. Their BusoRenkin may be perceived as weak at first, are quite freaking deadly. Our protagonist group has to basically rethink their situations and also use strategy in order to come out on top. Because if they don't, then they're just going to die. Or rather, Kazuki Muto is going to die. Possibly Gouto and Tokiko will die as well for being accomplices. Actually, no, they will die for being accomplices, because Hiwatari was just dead set on killing Tokiko, and after Goto's betrayal, I don't see Gouto getting out of that at all with a slap on the wrist. It would have to take like a major higher up to be able to just quell that situation down. But it doesn't mean that there aren't characters within this Reextermination Squad that don't use that same type of charge in head first, blunt force, aggressive tactics, such as Ikusabe, as we see it around the end of the volume, with him confronting Kochaku Chono, aka Papillon. This dude doesn't really have to worry about any kind of tactics because his BusoRenkin basically makes it to where he just keeps on regenerating no matter what gets blown up. Which then means that Papillon has to re-strategize his way of thinking so he could eventually come out on top. But we're not going to know how that ends until Volume 8. Also, this is the first time that the protagonist group doesn't necessarily have to kill off their antagonizers. Granted, there seems to be a couple instances like they might be trying to kill them off, but I don't really see that happening, to be honest. As far as plot points go, when it comes to this volume, and rather this arc as well, would have to be that it feels like Nobuhiro Watsuki went back and took a lot of inspiration from Rurouni Kenshin. More specifically, from the Kyoto arc. The reason I say that is because that arc, you have a lot of characters who are kind of separated, in a sense, doing their own thing, but at some point in time, end up converging. And where do all these characters converge to? Well, I believe we'll be seeing that in the next couple of volumes. Also, another way, it kind of takes from the Ibisu arc as well. Alright, so, what do you guys think of BusoRenkin Volume 7? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. If you'd be so kind, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, as well as hit that notification icon And make sure the bell is a ring-a-ding-dingin'. That way, you will know when I put out another video. Alright, see you later.